Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. Did get a couple of things in today. I have a guy at work that is a AMSOIL retail seller or a dealer basically for AMSOIL, so I usually go to him for all of my oil except for my engine oil. I do go to Hot Shots Secrets for that and also my diesel additives, but anything as far as like the synchro mesh that I put in my transmission, the ATF that I put in my transfer case, and then also my differentials, I go to him for AMSOIL and he usually hooks me up pretty good. What I use is the full synthetic gear lube. This is an 80-90, and then I had the Dana 80, which is a limited slip, so I do have to put the additive in there. Some people are saying the synthetics you don't have to put the additive in. I just make it a good practice to put it in. There is also some gear lubes out there that has the limited slip additive already infused with the oil. I usually still put it in. They say, well, if you get chatter, go ahead and put a tube of it in there. I just go ahead and put it in from the beginning. That way I don't have to worry about it. This is a pretty easy and straightforward process. The only thing you need to do is take your bolts out from around your housing and then use something to pry it off to break the seal free, and then drain your oil, clean it out. There's usually a magnet on the back of the cover, so you're going to want to clean all that off and then put your cover back on and fill it back up with oil. On the Dana 80, it is a 14 millimeter. You just use my 3/8 impact and pull it off that way. And then they do make a gasket. I don't buy the gaskets. I just use the black silicone. It's for oil. It's an oil resistant and water resistant, so you know you can use this on a multitude of surfaces, but I always just use the black RTV. So right now I gotta go grab my pan. I forgot to grab that, get it underneath there and start getting them bolts pulled out of there so I can drain that oil out of there. Okay, so if your rear diff is unmolested, or whoever the last person who changed your fluid was, they put the two tags back on there. One is their spec tag. This tells you all about your differential, and then this is a tag right here, and that tells me that I need the limited slip, that it is a limited slip rear end. So it is very important when you put these back together to put these two tags back on there. So right now I'm just going to take all these 14 millimeters out, get something wedged in there, and start draining that fluid out of there. Well, with the cover off and the fluid drained out of it, just do a visual inspection, make sure everything looks good. And with mine, everything does look good. All the spider gears in there look really good. I've only ever had one of these apart. I did a 1500 once where I had to change the clutch pack inside there, and that was a Dodge 8 3/4 though, so I've never actually had a Dana 80 apart. So to tell you exactly how to do it, I'm not 100% certain. On the 3 1/4, it was you just take these caps off on each side. You had to take your axles out of each side, and then you spun these nuts out on the inside, and then you just measured your tension on those, and you just put it back the same way. I don't know if the Dana 80s come apart the same way or not.
So because I've never had one apart, so maybe one day I will have to take it apart, but hopefully not. Right now I just got to get all the silicone cleaned off of the housing and also the cover, clean everything off, and then put some new silicone back on, probably put it on the housing and then put it back up. I'm going to go through and take a wire wheel and clean every one of these bolts off, get that old silicone off there, and just make life a little bit easier when you're putting things back together.
As you saw, I got everything cleaned up. I do cheat a little bit. I take all the heavy off with a razor knife, and then I use a medium biscuit. Basically, it's like a Scotch-Brite on my DA, right angle DA, and that's a medium grit, and I just use that and I clean all my surfaces up on the housing and on the cover. And then after I get everything cleaned up, you know, you just grab some black silicone, and I run a bead all the way around in between each bolt hole, and then I run just a little circle around. So basically what I'll do is I'll start and I'll do a little circle around that one, and then I'll run a line. I'll do a circle around this one, then run a line, and then I'll do a circle around this one and run a line, and so on and so on. So until I make a complete gasket. And then usually you let that sit for probably about 10 minutes until it just gets a skin on it, and then you put your parts together. A lot of guys, they'll take and just put it together right after they put it on there, but you're actually supposed to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes till it gets a skin, and then you can put your parts together. So I do have also this is my pump. I picked this up from Amsoil probably about a year ago when I did my transmission and transfer case, and then this just threads right in place of the cap. You put that little straw on there. I have one cut because all of Amsoil's bottles are the same size, so I have a straw cut that actually goes clear to the bottom, and then any excess that's left in there I'll take out of this one and I'll dump into this one, so or the next one, and so on and so on. So I make sure I use all of it. I guess for tonight I do need to get this put back together because I got to run my truck to the body shop tomorrow, as you saw in last night's video. So I think I kind of covered everything. I do need to do the front end yet. Also, another thing that I do, because on the bottom of the Dana 80 there is a little valley in there, so I grab my floor jack and I jack the front end of the truck up just a little bit to allow that to drain just a little bit better. And then when I assemble everything together, I'll lower that jack down so my truck will go down like that on its normal rake, and then that'll take all that oil and debris away from that edge and be clean and dry when I put it away, or when I put it back together, that is. So anyway guys, I appreciate you watching very, very much. Hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. Oh, by the way, my EGT gauge has been working perfectly, so it must have been one of them splices in there that was giving me some troubles. So so far so good with that. So I'm happy that I don't have to spend about $120 on a new gauge. So anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already done so, and we will talk to you guys later on. Bye-bye.